Can food lead to headaches? What kind of food can lead to headaches? And what kind of diet should you follow to prevent headaches? What about fasting? Can fasting also lead to headaches? All of this in today's video. Food and eating behavior have a large impact on the occurrence of migraines and headaches. Despite the large amount of conflicting data in the scientific literature, many scientists emphasize the influence of nutritional factors on the gut-brain axis and as a result on the occurrence of headaches. It has been found that certain foods can trigger migraines. These are chocolate, citrus fruits, nuts, ice cream, tomatoes, onions, dairy products, cheese, alcoholic beverages, coffee, caffeine, monosodium glutamate, MSG, histamine, tyramine, phenylethylamine, nitrites, aspartame, sucralose, and gluten. High amounts of some food or ingredients may be necessary to trigger a headache, as evidenced by studies involving aspartame or MSG. Interestingly, some food may trigger headache, while others can cause headache upon withdrawal, for example, caffeine. Certain foods can cause a specific type of headache. For example, chocolate was found to be significantly associated with migraine compared to tangent-type headache. Several cross-sectional and survey studies also reported correlation between specific diet patterns and migraine. It has been shown that the frequency of migraine attacks decreases with a healthy diet, high consumption of fruits, fish, vegetable pickles, vegetables and legumes. Conversely, the Western diet, high consumption of cola, salted nuts, processed meats, and fast food leads to an increase in the frequency of migraines. Consumption of fried food has a significant positive association with migraine headache. In Rome, a statistically significant reduction in the frequency of migraine attacks was associated with a reduced intake of white bread and an increased intake of whole grain bread and whole grain pasta. Italian pasta. Even when you just look at it, smell it, the headache goes away. Certain foods can cause headaches in certain groups of patients with gastrointestinal diseases, immunological disorders, and allergic reactions. In addition to eating behavior and certain medical conditions, several genetic factors can influence the occurrence of headaches. They can make people more sensitive to different food ingredients, or beverages. Beverages. The role of diet and nutrition in migraine triggers and treatment is analyzed in a systematic literature review of 43 studies. Many studies have shown that alcohol consumption is significantly associated with migraines. The most common alcohol-related trigger was red wine. Other alcohol triggers were liquor, champagne or sparkling wine, white wine, and beer. In several studies, coffee was the most important dietary trigger factor of headaches. Research dietary trigger factors of migraine and tangent-type headache in a Southeast Asian country has shown that the majority of migraine patients, 25.4%, reported that coffee was the trigger of headaches. Moreover, like chocolate, coffee significantly induces migraines compared to tangent-type headaches. Fasting. Certain foods and beverages are not the only ones that can cause headaches. Fasting can also be the cause. Several researchers have described an increase in migraine headaches due to fasting during Ramadan, a holy month for the spiritual and moral cleansing of Muslims, a month of mandatory strict fasting. A systematic review revealed fasting and alcohol as triggers in 44% and 27% of people with migraine respectively. respectively. A daily diary data analysis from a National Institutes of Health study reported that nighttime snacking and eating a late dinner reduces the odds of headache by 40% and 21% respectively in people with migraine. I'm not calling you for late night snacks or late dinners. Even if it's good for your head, it's not good for your figure. This is more about irregular food intake. Irregular food intake. In Iran, women with migraines were more likely than women without migraines to report a lack of a regular eating program, an irregular meal schedule, and fewer than 3 meals a day. In Sweden, migraines were more common among people who skipped breakfast. Diets. If certain foods cause headaches and migraines, then an elimination diet, that is, eliminating these foods from your diet, can help get rid of headaches and migraines. It can be difficult for a person to track down which product is causing the headache. According to the literature, food might be considered a trigger if headache occurred in more than 50% of instances within 1 day of exposure. Food intolerances are more common than food allergies, and it's important to distinguish between these conditions. When a person has a food allergy, antibodies are formed in the blood against certain foods. You will need a serologic test to establish a diagnosis of food allergy, so check with your doctor if you suspect this condition. A recent literature review found that a ketogenic diet, a high folate diet, low-fat diet, a modified Atkins diet, and a high omega-3, low omega-6 diet have all shown beneficial effects on headaches and migraines. The Mediterranean diet was also mentioned, but with less data available. Ketogenic diets result in increased ketone bodies levels, which have recently been found to be beneficial in preventing migraines. Ketone bodies improved mitochondrial function, reduce oxidative stress, improve cerebral excitability, and suppress neuroinflammation. A diet with a low glycemic index reduces the level of inflammation in the body, so it can be effectively used in patients with migraines. In addition, the level of inflammation in the body is reduced by the balance between the intake of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. And a diet that raises omega-3s and lowers omega-6 fatty acids can also help headache patients. I revealed the differences between fatty acids, their sources and effects on our body in the video 2 Amazing Vitamins for Beautiful Skin and Hair. The link is below this video. Such a biochemical process as DNA methylation has been found to be associated with the occurrence of migraine. Folate is involved in DNA methylation and has previously been shown to be beneficial for migraine headaches. Therefore, a folate-rich diet might find widespread use in patients with headaches. Deficiencies in folate, pyridoxine, vitamin B6, and cyanocobalamin, vitamin B12, can interfere with DNA methylation. Also, DNA methylation processes are impaired in people with a gene polymorphism in MTHFR, methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. It could result in a homocysteine increase in plasma, which is associated with increased risk of migraine, cardiovascular disease, pregnancy pathologies, etc. For people with MTHFR gene polymorphism, folic acid can be dangerous, but they definitely need folate. What types of folate dietary supplements should be used by such people and other important recommendations you will find in my video Vitamin for Pregnancy and more. Folate sources are also listed in this video, link in the description box. It has been shown that the levels of sodium in the cerebrospinal fluid of patients with migraine are higher than in the control group, especially during a headache attack. And sodium restriction is very useful for the prevention of migraines in the diet in the elderly and patients with cardiovascular diseases, including hypertension. Any diet, any restriction in food can lead to malnutrition, stress, and a deterioration in the quality of life. Therefore, always consult a doctor, nutritionist, or other healthcare provider before starting a diet. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in other causes of headaches. Subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, write comments and questions, and of course, take care of your body and mind.